Okay, so today I have a 55-inch Hisense. The model number of this TV is a 55H as in Henry, 6E as in Echo, 55-inch Hisense TV. This TV was only manufactured in 2018, only 2 years old, and we're actually going to turn it around or flip it up and see what the problem is. I'm going to hit my power. And just so you know, the TV's upside down, okay? And the reason I got shut down because the button's right here on the bottom. And as you see, there's a red light. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a red light there, and I'm going to hit it. It's going to flash a couple times and go back to red. And every time I hit it, I couldn't actually count that, but it looks like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 fast blinks. So let's tear this bad baby apart and see what the fluck is going on. Okay, just to verify the model number. Right there in the corner, model number Modelo 55H6E. As you can see, the HDMI port right above it is running at 4K 60 Hertz. So there's a 4K, and I don't know if you can see it right next to it. There is your LAN. So there's a smart TV. All right, so why I went out so soon, we're gonna find out. Okay, pretty much easy to take the back cover off. All the screws are the same. They're all metal screws except for this plastic one here. Okay, which goes right there. Okay. All one piece. Absolutely nothing connected to the back cover. Okay. So we've got our back cover off, and the first thing I'm going to check, quite naturally, before I start doing anything else, I'm going to check the LEDs. Because some of these newer sets, you will, make you think it's something else wrong with it. But the LEDs, if that circuit cuts off, they can do some weird things. I'm just going to show you what I mean. If you didn't see the first time very clear, what happens is, evidently the TV is in standby, and if you look at the red light there, I'll actually hit it. I hit the power button, the toggle switch, right there on the bottom of the light, and it flashes, and then it goes back to solid red. Hit it again, cuts off, flashes, goes back to red. So quite naturally, the first thing I'm going to do is check. It's got that one line, right? They had to save some money somewhere. As you can see, this is the LED wire for the LEDs from the power supply board going back into the TV. Right here, going inside of the TV, going inside of the LEDs. I'm actually going to check that. Okay, so I've got it disconnected just to be on the safe side, avoid any kind of interference with my reading. Got my LED checker. As you can see, that's good. Goes back to 0, short, open, 306. Quite naturally, I'm going to place my red lead on the red wire and my black lead on the black wire. I'm just assuming them. Is that a new word I just made up? I'm just assuming that the red is positive and the black is negative. So we'll do it that way. Okay. And as you can see, my meter did not even budge. Okay. It's still working. My meter's working. Look at my black on black. Red on red. Nothing. And just in case they're trying to fool me, which some manufacturers do, I'm going to actually go opposite and put the black on the red and my red lead on the black wire on the negative side. And still, as you can see, my meter did not budge at all. Okay? So obviously, we have an LED problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug my LED wire back in the power supply, and I'm going to check to see if we have any voltage even coming up. Because if we do, then we know that most likely that's our only problem. It's nothing else, because that's kind of weird how it flashed. You know, the TV didn't even come on. And you know how it comes on, you can take your flashlight and look on the screen and you know, see image. Well, it was like it came on and cut right off, okay? So actually I'm just going to make sure there's some voltage coming up. And I'm going to put my meter on DC volts, okay? And I'm going to put my red in the red and black in black. I'm going to stick it in there, okay? And as you can see, I got 110 volts already, but I'm actually going to plug the TV in, okay? And if quite naturally, if I hit the power and it goes up, it comes back down, then yeah, that's our problem, man. Okay? So we're actually going to hit the power, flashing, and it went all the way up to 220 volts, and then it's going back down. Okay, so yes, that's our problem, folks. Another LED video. If you get tired of watching my LED videos, backlight videos, just leave the video. Just go to another video. But make sure that you do give me a like before you leave, and that way we'll be even. Okay. Now I think I'm not sure if I ever changed LEDs on this particular set. Probably not, because it's kind of new. So after visually inspecting the TV, I can see already that this black piece here looks like the speaker system. The speakers need to obviously come off. This here is your Wi-Fi module, okay? So we're gonna have to unplug that. And then this here is our little toggle switch with our little power LED indicator on the front of it. That's the one that was flashing. And so I can see that one's plugged in. And so I'm just gonna unplug both of these wires here. Okay, there's the one big one with our toggle switch on, and it's going to something else. I'll figure that out later. And then there's another one. These are the actual speaker wires right here. Okay, that's the plug for the speakers. And I'm just gonna try to lift this up. Looks like it just comes right up. Maybe, hopefully. There we go. Being extra careful not to yank any wires or anything that I don't see up under here. Okay. Everything looks clear, clean. Okay. And as you can see, there's some little blue fasteners there. They're like rubber, kind of soft plastic like. And when you're ready to put it back in, it only goes in one way, as you can see, so you don't even really need to mark that, right? Okay, so we'll take that off, put it in a safe place. Okay, next thing I think that these may have to come off. These are the actual supports or the mounts for our feet or stand if you want to, put the feet on there. This uses just the 2 feet, the one on each side, or the 2 legs. Okay. Well, then I'm just going to disconnect my. As you can see, this does not use a T-con, a separate board for the T-con circuit. I think it's actually on here and part of maybe right here too. It's a 4K TV on the main board. So we got the power supply, main board, okay, and we have our 2 driver boards at the bottom. One here for the left side or right side, whatever you want to call it, and one on this side, quite obviously. So it looks pretty straightforward. I want to make sure that these are not touching because these have contacts on the bottom. So I might just want to just put those there and just tape them across. Okay, what I'm gonna do is remove my feet support, and I did mark them in red. slides right out, and they are marked left and right. I don't know if you can see that there's a little L in this one, and there's a R in the other one. Okay. Just 2 screws, come out pretty easily. Keep them together with the screws. Now, I'm gonna take a loose my driver boards. I'm gonna pull this tape. As you can see, there's some grounding tape right here. I'm gonna actually pull that up. I'll pull that off. Okay. And some more on this side. And also on both sides on the other one, the other board right here. Okay, I'm also going to disconnect my LDVS cable from these driver boards right here. Okay. Just gonna snap it, pull it out, snap it back in so we won't break the clips. Okay. And then this kind of slides. It's pretty, once you look at it, you kind of like figure it out, just slide it down, and then up. Last one there. Voila. They're freely hanging. Same with this one. Pull it out from the bottom, slide it down. Be very careful, do not force it. You do not want to break those ribbon cables on the bottom. Okay. There we go. Okay. Right here, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 on each side and 1 in the middle. Number 1 Phillips looks like. So like I said, I'm just assuming that once we take those screws off, we'll be able to flip the TV over on its back and pry up the outer bezel. I'm hoping it's that easy, but if you watched any of my videos before, you already know. There's always something right. Okay, so let's go ahead and proceed to take these screws out. Okay, flip the TV around. Make sure my driver boards are hanging down freely, because the next thing I want to do is attempt to remove the outer bezel. Okay, so far it looks good. Look at that. Wow. Now I just have to get around the edges and kind of pry it up and make sure that I don't put too much force on it where I'm going to crack the screen. So I just take something like this, a little prior tool, or something like this with a flat head maybe. But I guess I'll start with this one and we'll see what happens. I'm going to start from the bottom because there are actually no screws on the side, remember, just on the bottom. So then that's telling us to start with the bottom, and I'm going to go around and start from this edge all the way back. And if I slide this down, I can actually feel where the little release tabs are. Just keep going, don't force it, just keep going until, see, there you go. Should be at least one more here, somewhere. Voila. So far, so good. Wow, look at that. Okay, and the screen is not attached to the outer bezel. How lucky can we get? Okay, got both sides pried loose. Just take your time when you're doing this, okay? Please do. Okay, and now I'm going to do the top piece, and the outer bezel should come right off. This is the outer bezel here. The screen, we'll fold our driver boards over, tape them to the screen, lift the screen out, and that's it. Remove the diffuser screens, and we should be right at the LEDs. Let's just see if I'm right. Okay, I got my outer bezel off. Came off fairly easily. I take my driver boards, turn them around, take them to the screen. That way they won't get snagged walking around it or moving it. Okay, next we're going to attempt to remove the screen. And if this is cool, we'll be in good shape. Wow, man, did you see that? Did you see that clean swipe I did with that screen? Yeah, I know you didn't because my battery cut out my camera. I just got this camera and it came with a battery that only lasts 6 minutes. One battery, right? So anyway, while I was recharging my battery, I went in here and took the screen off. But as you can see, there's no glue. The screen wasn't glued or taped or stuck or anything. It just came right off, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm actually gonna turn this around. It's just a habit that because we have to take the diffuser screen brackets off, right? Okay. And I always take a marker, you know, a different color. My red one's probably gone by now. And I always mark the bottom left corner of my TV. Okay. I mark the brackets because these brackets are actually looks like 4 pieces. Okay. 2 on each end, one at the top, one at the bottom. And so I just mark the 2 corners. That way I'm not confused when I put it back together. And I'm also going to put a dot in the very corner of the actual diffuser screens, just in case, you know, I get them mixed up, which I normally don't because I keep them all together when I pull them out of the TV. And another thing you want to watch is look at your corners of your diffuser screens, and as you can see, one is overlapping the other one. The sides have to come off first, and then the top and bottom, and then when you put it back together, top and bottom, then the sides. Okay, this one has an overlap, and I'm going to look at this real good before I attempt to take it out, and always picture, you know, how you took it out, what it looked like, because a lot of times you're gonna put it in backwards or something, and you're gonna put the screen on. When you put the screen on, it's going to be uneven and you're going to crack the screen when you put the outer bezel on it. Okay, so I'm just going to, I can kind of see here how this goes. Oh, okay, right here, there's a clip right here. Let me see that, there's a clip right there. And I'm going to unloosen that. Hopefully. There we go. And I can see that's all the way down. There's a clip there, looks like. There, all the way around. Like I said, I'm going to take my 2 side pieces off first, and top and bottom, and then we can then remove our diffuser screens. Okay, now you can see what I said. There's a little overlap there, tab, okay, and it sits right into here. Okay, sorry, it sits right into there. That little seated area for it. And another thing I noticed is this bottom bracket, it just has 2 pieces of black tape on each end. Just take those off. Or actually 1 piece, 1 on each end. Just pull this off. It took me a while to figure out why the bottom bracket wasn't coming up. I seen the clips and I'm like, what's going on? But piece of tape right here, and then 1 on the other side, and then this bracket should come right up. There we go. And just make sure that you do notice that you can see that these are, it goes behind these big metal tabs, okay? And you put it back on. So that's always good to remember is how you took it off, because trust me, especially if you're my age, 50 something, and you're gonna put something back together, you're like, you know what? I should have took a picture or something. Got my diffuser screen brackets off. And just remember the top and bottom on this particular one goes on first. And then we'll do the sides, the smaller ones. We'll put these all in one safe place. And diffuser screen. It should come right up. And another habit that I do also, I've already got a dot on the bottom of the diffuser screen so I know which way it goes. And I'm also going to put a dot, or we just mark the metal chassis too, so you know you can match it up when you put it back on there. Okay. Okay, these are all, they only go in one way, looks like. They have grooves in them. We'll pull that off. See what's going on right here. I don't see any tape or anything. What's the big deal? Okay, comes right up. Looks like we got just the two. Big one is always on the bottom, the thicker one. Yeah, that should do. Okay, well, I'm gonna wish myself good luck with this one. I don't know what kind of LEDs these are. These are some different type of LEDs. So I'm gonna have to try to improvise with the ones that I have. But anyway, I'm actually gonna mark my white paper at the bottom, same corner. This has to come up, the white paper. And first of all, I have to pull these holders in here. It's kind of like the LG, just lift up and they shift, slide to the left. This is not sharp enough, maybe. There we go. Right in the middle, lift up, slide out. Right in the middle a little bit. Very slow, try not to tear the paper because, of course, it may tear a little bit. That's fine. You know, like I said, I think I had a little tear over here, but don't just yank it off and figure, well, you know, you're getting frustrated, right? And impatient, and you like yank it off, and it's all tore up. Then we're gonna put it back on, put the TV back together. Guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna see all the little shadows in the picture. There's nothing to do, but you know, at least if you get a big rip in it, just use some clear tape. If you get like a big tear in it, and it's, you know, it's not any pieces missing or anything, right? Just get some get some clear tape and just piece it back together with that so it's laying down flat. Because if the piece of paper is laying up, you know, if you stick it up like this, a piece that you tore, trying to take it off, and it's around this bulb, for instance, you're actually going to see the shadow of that paper. Okay, so I carefully got my white paper off, and you can see there are 5 strips. They're all on one line, as you saw on the power supply board. I then unplugged the line from the power supply board because I'm getting ready to check these strips. It's a damn shame. People call you on Sunday, and you know what they're calling for, right? Yeah, you already know, crack screen. Okay, desperate. But anyway, I'm going to go down. There's 5 strips, and I'm going to check each one. As you can see, they are all marked with the little test point on each one. The positive is positive, quite naturally, right? And okay, and I'm just gonna go down the line, check each one. First one's good, 27 volts. Second one's good, they're all lit up. 27 volts. Third one, 27.1 volts. Nothing. This is our bad one. Well, there is a bad LED somewhere on the strip. And go to the last one, 27.1 volts. Okay. Now, these also have individual test points for each individual LED. And for instance, this last one, there's a dot right here, okay? And I can check the single LED. If I want to check the LED next to it, I'll just put my meter, my positive with my negative was on that dot, and go down to the next one. And so on, and so on. So this one, I'm gonna put my positive lead on the test point, go to that first dot, Okay, lights up. Came on a little slow. Go to the second one. That popped on kind of slow. Okay. Go to a third one. Could be my meter too. So, another thing I want to point out too, when you guys are checking, I've getting a lot of questions in my comments about when they're checking the LEDs or the LED strips. They all light up, but they have a backlight problem. But when they test them each individually, they all light up. You have to look at your meter because there may be one that's leaking, and there may be a leaky LED just like a diode. And if you're looking at the voltage and you're holding your leads on there, if the voltage changes, say for instance, if I go here, okay, see now it's at 27 volts. Hopefully you can see that. If it starts jumping up to 60 and then back down to 27 and then, you know, up to like 70 or 50, you know, it's jumping around like that, then you know that's your bad strip or strips somewhere, or that's where your bad LED is at. So most likely it may light up, but you have to look at the voltage on your meter, your LED checker, and see if it's jumping up or down, because that will trigger the shutdown circuit. If you're getting a variation of voltage like that, that's our bad LED right there. And I actually had to pull some of this tape up just to get to the test point so I can test this LED. Okay. Okay, I actually had to use my hot air to get this LED cover off, diffuser, lens, whatever you want to call it. I just went around with my hot air and it came off because it was kind of glued on there pretty good. And it looks like that may be a regular LED. It just looked funny through this little glass because I had a Samsung TV which used some really small LEDs. And when I tried to replace it, it just kept, you know, blowing the that entire strip up, you know, with smoking and stuff. So I just said forget it and ordered the whole strips. But this one looks like we might be in good shape. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get my hot air and see what we can do with that one. Okay. I'm running hot enough here. Take your time, dude. Take your time. I'm actually going to increase my heat. I may end up pulling the strip off and the heat get from behind, you know, getting it from the back. And I just say getting it from the back. Oh, okay, you know what I'm doing. Okay, actually what I did is I put a bigger tip on here because these LEDs seem like they're kind of stubborn, they don't want to come off. And I turned my heat up on my hot air station to 500 degrees Celsius. And so let's see if we have any better luck now. Voila, it's about time. Okay, so we know that this, according to our LED checker, we go down to the bottom one. This is our positive side, and over here is our negative side. And so I think my LEDs are just the opposite as usual. Okay, I'm just going to scrape that in between there, clean that up a little bit. And so I'm just going to scrape the trace right here. So I can bring it down some, and when I put my my diffuser lens over it, I'm going to have to use a different one because I'm actually going to have to shift the lens over so that it's centered over the LED, and so it won't show that white spot on the screen. Hopefully, even if I go with something like this here, once I put the LED on, that still might be a little better than having it, having the other one over there in the shift, and you see that beam of white light going in the wrong direction. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrape the trace off the one side that's longer. Okay, I scraped the trace and I got my LEDs here. Got two just in case I destroy one. There's plenty of ways you can do this. I just kind of just do it by what I feel like doing. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is get some flux, and I'm just gonna put a little dab on each side. My LED should go. Put a little dab right here, and one at the top there. Okay. Then what I can do is I can get my iron. Okay, put a little solder on it, the tip. Put some solder on each side. This solder is no good. I don't know what they're using this for. Evidently not for soldering LEDs, right? Okay, you're not gonna believe this. I just found out that my new LEDs, I just bought these LEDs, right? And I thought they were the same as for the LG, but actually they're just the opposite of the ones I've been using. Actually, this does line up. That is a negative, and that is I'm sorry. The big side is the negative. Okay, and the small side, the small trace on the LED is positive. The same is here. So now a different approach. Okay. So now I'm just gonna heat up. I'm just gonna put some solder. This is good stuff right here. Get that cleaned up there. I'm gonna put some solder on both sides. There we go. Okay. Kind of sloppy, but hey, let's just make sure it works. Okay, in order for me to test it out, I'm gonna have to put my assembly back on, my speakers and my wires. Okay, I plug this back in, this plug here. That's for the power button, and also this goes to the Wi-Fi module. This plug is for the speakers. That's located in this little bar right here, but we're not going to worry about that right now. And I'm going to plug it in. Show you my status light right here in my hand, my toggle switch. Okay, we'll plug it in. As you can see, it's solid red. When I press it, came right up. Okay, it looks like we are in good shape, guys. Okay, they're all lit up. I'm gonna put that lens cover back on that one LED, or put a lens cover back on there, and real simple this bad baby, and she will be good to go. Okay, I've got my another lens cover, or diffuser lens. Got some super glue, and I've got some alcohol. I'm gonna clean it first. Okay. Excess fluff so my lens cover will stick better. Clean the area around there really good. Then I'm going to find my lens cover, put a few drops. One drop on each little stud sticking up. Okay. Try to center it as best as I can over the LED. Pull it down and probably let it sit on there for about, I don't know, about a good minute or so. It should dry up. Okay, I'm actually, since I got my lens cover on there, I'm actually just fire this up right fast. I'm just put in my wire again, and plug it in, turn it on, take this wire back out carefully, this plug. As you can see, this is the one I just replaced. Doesn't look too bad as long as it's lit. You probably barely notice that blue light, you know, on the TV. But as long as it's working, everything looks good. So we'll go ahead and put this bad baby back together. Okay, get my white paper in there, and I did put my screen supports back in there. Remember the 3 screen supports that we split out. Put those back in there. Now I'm actually going to put on my diffuser screen. Diffuser screens back on. Same way I took them off. Okay. I want to make sure this piece on the bottom is center, which of course it's not. Okay. Diffuser brackets. Remember, top and bottom went on first, if I'm not mistaken. I call myself marking this. This must be that's the bottom. That should go on pretty easily. Like I said, make sure when you put these diffuser screen brackets back on, make sure it's flush. Every part is pushed, click down. You don't want any rising edges. Okay. Put the top on. notches. Okay. Man, it laid down in there perfectly. Back down. Pull our jumper boards over. Okay. Pull the tape off. Pull them back over. I could probably slide them from here right back into the grooves. Ah, they went in perfectly. Slide it right on top of those clips, and it should slide right in. Excellent. Love this TV. Double check, make sure the screen is flush. My pin across the whole thing. Because now I'm about to put on the outer bezel, the outer bezel. Should snap right into place. Okay. Bottom goes on first. Definitely don't wanna. Okay. Okay. Looks pretty good. Now, flip it over. Connect these up now, doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is get my screws for the bottom bezel. Remember those silver screws? Right there. 7 of them. And don't forget to put your grounding tape coming from the driver board. Put that back onto the metal. Take that back onto the metal if you can. Cables. Make sure the 2 notches on the side are all the way into the socket before you clamp it down. Flat. Okay, that's good. At an angle, and then come down once those tabs are past the clip, and then we'll just tape these back down. Okay. Holder for our feet. Okay. This is left side, left to me, and this is the right side. 2 screws. For our speakers, the skinny one, 4 wires, other plug for our toggle switch and a Wi-Fi module. Put that in there, and I'm going to place this toggle switch right back into a little groove here. You can't miss it, so I'm not going to show you on camera, so it's just like a little slot. Just push it in until it snaps. That's it, guys. Let's test our picture out. Double check, make sure I got my LDBS cable hooked up. Okay. Loose, everything looks good. Flip it up. See how light is a solid red color? See that when I hit it? Ah. Okay. Looks like we're in good shape so far. Okay. That's it. Let's put the back on here and check that out. Okay guys, looks like we're in good shape. And as you can see, that little diffuser lens I put on the LED, you can't see it. You can't notice it. There's no spots or anything on the screen at all. Perfectly fine. And knowing these kind of TVs, it's probably going to last a while with that one LED in it. So don't fret, right? Well guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And make sure that you do subscribe. I will be coming out with a lot more videos this year. And with that, Big Dog out.